Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? Okay.
Hear me?
Hi, Joseph. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
How are you
okay.
doing?
I'm great, I'm great. And you?
I'm fine. So let's just give let's say 5:10. Let's just give people a little bit of time so they can, join in. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I will figure out
All right,
the
thank you.
share
Thank you.
screening in between.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so entire screen would be the best. Share screen. Okay, perfect. Let's see if this also shows. Yep. Okay, we have this and we have this. Perfect. Good.
Okay, all right. By 5:10 we can start properly.
Yep, no problem.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. All right. Okay. So I think we can start now. Then everybody else can join in. All right. So,
Okay.
Jerin, thank you for being here. Thank you also everyone for joining in. Today, our presenter is going to be someone I honestly respect, and I've going through most of her works, I've actually learned a lot. So I felt everybody should actually learn also. So she's a mechanical engineer and the founder of the JP Visual Method, a streamlined workflow designed to help engineers bridge the gap between complex 3D modeling and high impact technical communication. So I don't give talk much. I'm just going to hand over to her, and then she's going to take over from there. Thank you, Jaren, for joining us. We're glad to have you here.
Thanks, Joseph. I'm really happy to join you and your users of the SolidWorks group here. Yeah, like Joseph said, I'm Barbara Jerin, today I will walk you through a simplified 10 steps workflow that I use to create images for manuals without special software, right? So, but first, thanks again, Joseph, for inviting me as the guest speaker. I'm really honored. So let's jump in so that we can learn what needs to be learned, right? Okay. Before that, a little bit of my backstory, so just that you get some the feeling who I am, what I did, and what I do now. Mechanical engineer, SolidWorks user for 20 years. Literally, the first time I tried it, I fell in love with it, and I don't know how many days in these 20 years there were that I did not use SolidWorks, or at least think about it, right? So in 2014, me and my partner established a small engineering company, JRP. And since then, we helped develop many machines across various industries. But the last 5 years, we focused on one specific industry. It doesn't matter which one it is, but that industry is quite complex. It has things like high staff turnover, harsh environment, and that there was always high demand for clear user manuals. And this is actually what sparked my interest for creating user manuals. And I saw what kind of impact good user manuals can have if they're done correctly. What it can happen if they are not done adequately. Okay, so I have a question for you. When you open a user manual, guys, what's the first thing that you look at? Just write in the chat. Anyone? You're not very chatty, I see. Okay, no problem. I will tell you what I look at it. So when I open a user manual, I scroll. Yeah, exactly. Okay, the content. Yeah, okay. Okay, great. But when you say content, do you start reading, or do you maybe flip through the pages and get a feeling for how the manual is done? And if you don't like it, you just throw it away. Like, is that happening with you guys? Because engineers, we always like to figure out things. I started reading, exploded. Yes, exactly. Okay. So my first glimpse goes at the label, exploded views, how to assemble. Okay, so visuals, right? We don't like reading text. We are visual beings, I would say, and we tend to judge the user manual by how it is done and how the images are presented, right? How they gave us a feeling if it might be worth reading or it may not be worth reading. You read the mess. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we try to figure it out first and then we go to the manual, right? Yeah. Okay. So first thing I look at are images, and it's not just that I'm doing images that I look at this, but always also before, when I was not yet doing user manual and images for user manuals, I always wanted to see something visual. And if there were not enough images, I thought, okay, this is not worth reading because there is not content that is good enough for me to consume, right? So this one is a little bit, okay. Let's try again. Okay. So good images make you feel that the manual is good, and poor images or the lack of images give you a feeling, right? It's not that the manual is poor. You can make the best text, the best descriptions, but if you don't catch the user quickly with images, you create the feeling of the manual that it might be complex, right? So images give you a perceived quality, and maybe if we do not give enough attention to manuals, right? Because we focus on engineering, we want the device to be as the best as it can be, but often we, at the end of engineering, right, with the phase when it gets manufactured and released, we kind of the energy level goes down, and yeah, manuals are second thought, right? And we might be doing a disservice to engineering, to all the effort that went in before the manual. Okay, so in my opinion, there are two types of manuals. One is for the lawyers. They consist of long paragraphs, warnings, ensure that statements. And the other one is for the users, right? And actually the users care only about this one. But if you want to have a company protected from lawsuits, yeah, you also need the left one. But because we are engineers, we will leave the lawyerish things to the lawyers. And today we will focus on the user manual, right? So making clear images, minimum text, and combined this, we get something that we can say an easy to understand manual. Okay. I have a last question for you guys. How do you feel about creating manuals? Do you enjoy them? Or do you prefer not to do them at all and just do the engineering stuff? A lot of work, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, out of my comfort zone, yes. So it's a task that we want to get off our plate as soon as possible, right? Yeah, great. Yep. Assumptions are confirmed, I would say. And I also made a quick, very comprehensive study on LinkedIn. And it turned out that from 40 people that voted, there's money, why? Yeah, from the 40 people that voted, 25% actually enjoy doing them, and the rest is more your kind of response, right? Extra work, I avoid it whenever possible. I don't like doing them, but I need to do them, right? So, okay, maybe today somebody from that is sitting on the fence between I enjoy it and I don't like it will have one reason more to maybe feel a bit joyful about it. I don't know. Okay. So the reason maybe that we don't like making manuals, yeah, we just want to get the job done, right? And this also then reflects in the way how we do the manual, how we do the image. We make a quick print screen. We add a few extra notes and arrows if in Microsoft Paint or some similar software, and we paste it into Word, and yeah, we don't want to touch it again, right? So the images that are created with this traditional workflow look like this. So some arrows, zigzagged lines, maybe some positions, and that's pretty much it, right? The issue is the quick print screen creates a bad image quality. And also, if you're using Microsoft Paint, you know that you cannot move this, the arrow, right? You need to redo the whole image because no editing is possible here. Okay. So, as you might expect, I was not very happy with this traditional method because the look that it gave me wasn't professional for my taste. So I kept searching for a better alternative, and I still wanted to be fast and simple. And of course, as engineers, we are always limited on the budget side, right? So I tried a few free tools, also SOLIDWORKS Composer, which is a great tool, I can tell you. But because we were not using it enough, right? So we used it maybe 10% of the end of the project. It was not worth investing. So I kept searching because actually I just needed preferably one tool that would allow me to create the visual from SOLIDWORKS print screens, right? From SOLIDWORKS snapshots, and would make it in a way that when I paste it into the Word document, the visual stays together, right? Because you can also use annotations in Word, but if you have experience, once you start editing, those annotations start to shift, and maybe an arrow that was pointing to a bearing is then pointing to a bolt. And yeah, that's not the correct visual, right? So one day, almost as a joke, I tried PowerPoint. And the more I used it, the more I liked it, honestly. And I liked it so much that I'm now telling you about it. And this was the reason why I created the JRP Visual Method. Yeah. So if we make a quick comparison, what's possible, right? We saw the previous traditional image, and then here it is, the upgraded, I would say, version created with the JRP Visuals Method. How do you like it? Which one do you like more, left or right? Okay, nobody? Anybody? Left. Okay, thank you, Joseph. You're saving me here. Great. Okay, yeah, I assume that the majority of us. Oh, hi, Deepak. Thanks. Really, really happy to see you here. Great. Left. Great. Thanks. Okay, so any questions before we take a look at the 10 steps? Okay, I assume not. So let's dig in. If we look at the method from afar, right, it's quite simple. We prepare the view in SOLIDWORKS, we save it as PNG, we finalize the images in PowerPoint, we save them again as PNG, and we insert them to Word. But as we know, the devil is in the details. So let's take a closer look at the essentials of this method. And yeah, I think it's time to check out step 1. Always, always, always make a copy of the original model, because you will be changing it, changing colors, changing positions, adding stuff. And you don't want to mess with the original model that is connected with your manufacturing drawings, right? The easiest way to do that is via pack and go. Probably everyone knows that. If you don't know where it is, it's under the file, pack and go. And if you're using PDM, you should use copy tree and not pack and go, because the copy tree is the safer version for you. When I make a copy, I usually add a prefix like manuals or something else that defines, that marks that this model is only for the purpose of creating manuals, right? So you don't need, for example, to include the drawings or simulation results, because you don't need them. Okay, once we have the copy, we open the model and we set the scene. I will be jumping now between SOLIDWORKS and PowerPoint, so that you get a better understanding of what those things are. So first we will activate vertical orientation, and this you do via the rotate about seam floor. This makes that the model, however you rotate it, it always stays upright, so you don't get some strange angles that are not, I would say, natural for the viewer, right? Then we will add a white scene to create a uniform lighting. You can actually use whatever scene you want. It's only good if you stick with one, so you have some consistency. I just prefer to have the white one. And the last step, when we're setting the scene, is that we can apply white appearance on all the components so that we get some uniform feel, because often, you know, when you open a CAD model, you get all kinds of appearances, right? And it often happens that, I don't know, if your company has one color scheme and then they decide to change it, yeah, what you then need to redo all the images in the manuals, or stick with the previous color scheme, right? And this is one way how to easily make some order in your model on the visuals, right? So if you will look at the SOLIDWORKS now, this is just a random model. The rotate about seam floor is, you can access it via the right-click mouse on the graphic area and rotate about seam floor, right? And however I rotate it now, I cannot turn it on its head. If I remove this, I can turn it however I want. So what this does is that vertical lines always remain vertical. This is the first trick. Then we have the uniform light. This is via this shortcut here. So you just click on white, and it changes a little bit how these surfaces are lightened. And then we have the apply white appearance, which can be done the quickest, but maybe not the best in some ways, via Control-A and setting the appearance on solid and white, right? Okay, so this is it. If we go back to the PowerPoint, we have set the scene. And now we need to verify SOLIDWORKS quality settings. There are two settings that you need to check. First is the PNG export quality setting, and the other is the model image quality, right? So the first one you access the easiest via Save As. And if you choose PNG here, click on the options, and you get this opened. So you see here a square, right? This marks where what will be on the image. You can change this via this setting here. But the most important thing that you want to check is that you have removed the background and that you're using print capture, because this print capture then allows you to set the DPI of the image and the quality. So I would not go more than 1000 DPI, 1200, because it's for no use. The majority of images that I do, it's around 400. Okay. So this is this, and model image quality. So this is not so apparent in this case, but if you have larger structures, this can have quite a big impact on how crisp the image is. So you can play with this setting here, and maybe as long as you're setting up the model, you can have it on low. And once you're happy, and before you start making the PNGs, the export of PNGs, you can turn it a bit higher so you get crisper, because this actually affects the performance of SOLIDWORKS, right? Okay, so let's just keep it here for now. Okay, next step. Brainstorm, yes. I always brainstorm either on paper, or I create a PowerPoint file separate as a draft, and I just add quick print screens. Yes, in that case, I can do print screens because the quality is not so important. It's more important that you brainstorm what you want to show, how you want to show it, maybe the view angle, what is disassembled, how it is assembled. Maybe do I show a tool, or I will just make an icon for that tool, right? All this can affect, should be brainstormed before you start preparing the model, right? And a lot of times when you're doing images for manuals, you will see that maybe some things in the model are missing, right? So in this case of the mixer, the tank was missing. So how do you show the minimum level of the liquid in the tank? Yeah, you will need to model it, right? That's the easiest way. I mean, you can also sketch it in some other software, but that creates only extra work and extra knowledge that you need. And if you make a model, this is, however you turn the view, right, you will have this tank here, and you can reuse it also for other occasions, maybe. Also, hoses and cables are missing often. Okay, I'm just reading the comments. One can add a display state for a white appearance. Yes, of course, display states are a great tool, but they can be a bit messy, I would say. You need to be quite experienced to prepare them correctly, at least from my side. I tried using them, but in the end, I rather only went with one display state and maybe multiple configurations. Okay. Okay, back to the hoses and cables. If you're not making a manual about how to connect the cable, I don't see a reason you should model a cable. But if you are, maybe it's it's good to add it, right? You don't need to model the whole cable. If you say, okay, I will make a close-up view only of this portion of the device where the cable is connected, you only model the part of the cable that is on the visual, right? So it does not need to be always everything on the device that is in reality, but the things that you need for the manual. Yeah, also tools, for example, wrenches. You can decide either will you make it as a model and add it to the CAD, or will you just use a icon, right? Your decision. I also very often use duplication of items to show alternative positions like this, and transparency. And of course, the most important are the exploded states. So you can prepare them in advance and then make export the PNGs, right? Okay, so we have the step 4 behind us. Now it's time to highlight the items and save it as PNG, right? Okay, and here is one important thing that I want you to know. Until 2022, and maybe in 2023, I need to check still, this highlighting was extremely, I would say, there was a side effect in SOLIDWORKS that helped you make highlighting by selecting a component. This only works for components, but usually when you're making, I don't know, assembly procedures, etc., you highlight the component, right? Not the face, the body. And yeah, this was extremely fast. I will show you then. But now I have the 2026 and it's not working. So I'm still searching for an equally fast method in the newer version of SOLIDWORKS. But until then, the safest way to highlight items is actually by controlling them with appearances. And yes, as Deepak said, display states can be handy here. Yeah, and once you have those things arranged, you save the PNG via the export save as, right? So I don't think print screens are good here because you don't get the transparent background, which is extremely handy in PowerPoint, and you also get poor image quality. So I will show you this trick quickly, so you get a feeling how quickly that can be in the 2022 version, right? So first you set the selection color under the colors, right? So this is the first one. So we choose, okay, I want them to be all green. And then you just say, okay, I want these bolts to be green. And all you do is go to Save As and save it as PNG. And you have it. No, I don't want to replace it. I just make new 22 to be sure. Okay. So it's processing the image. I think I have 800 dpi set now. So, okay. Now he's messing with me. He's messing with me. Now he doesn't want to do it. Just a second. Okay, of course, why not? GPU, there is a setting. Okay, doesn't work. There is a setting here that needs to be disabled or enabled. I don't remember exactly. But when you click on this and you make save as, the PNG that is exported is containing these colors, right? In the newer versions, they just ignore what you have selected and they export what's on the model, right? No selections are included. And yeah, if you want now in the newer versions to do this, you need to manually go and apply appearances to these bolts. And that means that you cannot just push white overlay above all on the top level, because this will then hide those colors, the appearances of those bolts, right? So it is a little bit more work now. Okay. Sadly, it doesn't want to cooperate with me today. Okay, so the next thing, yeah, save the view to keep consistency. There is a very nice feature in SolidWorks that can come quite handy with manuals, because once when you start preparing the model, seeing what works, what view to choose, you might want to go back to that exact view, change something and redo the view. And to keep it consistent, you just, once you have the view that you want, right, you just press on space and you press space and you add a new view here. Come on, it's on my left screen, sorry. Okay, so like this, and it is added here, right? So you can then quickly move through these views and retake the shots, I would say, resave the PNGs with some adjustments made to the model. I usually give them names based on what they are showing, because these cannot be rearranged 1, 2, 3, 4. They are just as they are, and they are added here. Okay, so now we have the PNGs from the model somewhere in a file, saved out, like save as PNGs, right? And when we open a PowerPoint to combine, to finalize the images, first we need to check one setting. And this is, if you only take one thing from this whole presentation, this is important. Because no matter what you do, if you have this setting that it compresses your images and maybe a very low resolution here, the first time you will click on save in PowerPoint, all the images will lose the quality. So this is very important that you check. And the other thing in PowerPoint is to adjust the quality of the PNG export. Sadly, the easiest way to do it is to go into the registry and to change it from, I think it's default, it's 96. We want something around 300 dpi's. It's a very simple, basically, it's very simple 8-step process. Takes 3 minutes, but yeah, some are not allowed to mess with the registry. So yes, there is an alternative, and if you want to check it out, I made a post on LinkedIn. You just scan this QR code and you will have all the info. And if in case something is not clear, DM me. I'm always willing to help here. Okay, so now we need to insert the images into PowerPoint and annotate them.
Hi, can you go back so I can scan it and drop the link here?
Sorry?
Can you go back so I can scan it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay.
much. I'm going to drop the link now on the chat so anybody can check it out.
Okay, thanks. Perfect. Okay, so inserting the images into PowerPoint and finalizing them, right? So in my opinion is that PowerPoint is very nice because it gives you this slide that you have as your canvas for your image, right? When you have some other tools, you always, okay, what should I make the size of this image now? No, in PowerPoint, you decide on the slide size in the beginning, and then all the slides have the same size, right? The same ratio. I like to use the default, the 16:9 ratio. And you can either use it to combine more information on one image, right? Like in this case, or you can also use it one step of the procedure per slide, right? So depends on what kind of manual you are doing. You can add icons. You can find them all over the internet. You can go to Flat Icon. They have great icons there. Yeah, and the icons are great because we don't need to add the models, right? We don't need to add a branch model to the cat if we can show it as an icon. We can add annotations. We can rearrange the steps easily. This happened to me a lot when I was doing the complex manuals. You have one. Yeah, I think it's Flat Icons. Yeah. Can you check? Let me know if it's correct, and otherwise I will check myself. This happened to me a lot of times because you have one procedure in mind, but then when you are finalizing them and you're going through the steps, you say, oh shit, there should be one step in between. And using slides as steps really helps you rearrange the images very easily, right? You don't need to go into the folder and change the file name from step 1 to step 2. You have everything at one glance as a procedure, and that's an extremely powerful feature of PowerPoint. Yep, perfect. Thank you, Timothy. Also in PowerPoint, you can create detailed views like you would in SOLIDWORKS, but they are much better because this lower portion of the image that you see is one image. And the detail is a different image, only cropped to a 1:1 ratio, and then additionally cropped with a shape. So the image here does not necessarily need to be this image up here, right? It's not actually a detail view. You have much more liberty what you show, how you show it. Because in SOLIDWORKS, this detail is this detail only on a larger scale, right? But in PowerPoint, this and this one up down here are independent. Also in PowerPoint, you can add 3D arrows. I have 2 LinkedIn posts here about adding those. Joseph, will you scan those too, maybe?
Okay, all right, okay.
Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to keep the format as compact as possible, so I just added links to additional information that you might need. And also the icons, you can use ChatGPT, Nano, Banana, whatever AI tool to generate them.
Okay, all right, I've copied, all right.
Okay. So once we have those steps, right, all prepared in the PowerPoint, we can export them as PNGs or save them as PNGs in one in one step, because PowerPoint asks you, do you want to export all of them or just the one slide that you're on, right? And if you select all slides, it creates a new folder and puts all the slides numbered in this. So when you're doing the Word document, right, the final version, the final layout of the manual, you just drag them in, right, one by one. And yes, the last step is to verify the Word settings, the same as in PowerPoint. Before you press save, please verify this. Because one time Gregor was doing the images and I came and I said, why is there such bad quality? And it was that he didn't have this setting checked here. After you have this, you just drag and drop the images in your template for the manual. And yeah, you're done, basically. You have very nice looking images that keep the quality. So the work that you put in, does not go out in vain, right? Okay, so those were the 10 steps of the basic, I would say, strategy. And this strategy I use when the model is final, right? So when you're updating manuals of products that are already on the market, or maybe making portfolio images, or using a 3D model that was generated from a step file, when you know that there cannot be any changes to what you're doing, right, to the model. Because when you think there might be changes, there is a better approach that focuses more on the preparation side, and maybe a bit more on the structure, where you create the exploded view, and how you maybe make some sub-assemblies to, once a change happens, that you can replace it with the new model quickly, right? And in case you are doing spare parts lists or assembly procedures, and you need to add a lot of position balloons, it might be a better strategy to go and create SOLIDWORKS drawings, but only as a last resort, because SOLIDWORKS drawings are extra work, right? Yeah. So the 10 steps that I cover today are the main steps of this basic model, of the basic strategy when the model is final, right? The other 2 strategies I then teach, show you in a one-on-one workshop. Yep, so any questions? Also, if you need extra info, if you would like to, great, thank you, Joseph. If you would like to know more, just DM me on LinkedIn or write me an email or whatever. I'm really happy to help you out and teach you a little bit more, because, you know, courses are great, but every company, every person has some, I would say, specifics, and it pays off to get a detailed workflow for your specific need, and that cannot be taught via a generic course, right? It needs to be a one-on-one thing, because, yeah, also NDAs are quite important in our field, and I respect this. So whenever I work with anyone, we sign the NDA, and then we adjust and we see what is the best way for them to create the visuals for the manuals.
Okay. All right. Barbara. Thank you very much. I'm really interested now. So I want to do my first manual, right? So I'm working on the
Okay.
design already. So I'm going to do my assembly manual, and I'm going to, since the video is being recorded, I'm definitely going to watch them back now. Do you have how do I put it? Okay, a sample I can actually, because I've not done manuals before. I honestly haven't. I have a lot of assembly design that I would actually love to, practice with, but I don't have any manuals. So do you have any sample I can go through? Like I can, okay, watch and look at them and say, okay,
I
uh,
have a few. I have a few images on the workshop landing page. You can check those. But otherwise, shoot me a DM. Tell me what your device is, what you want to show, and then I will search for the best version that I can share. Right? Because I have a lot of things, but sadly, all are under NDAs, and I need then to basically, for your case, create something similar that works for you based on what I learned from the past on the previous projects, and use it on some model that I can show to you. So it's a bit complicated, but yeah, don't worry, we will figure it out. Shoot me a DM, tell me what you want, what you have, and we can see what might work the best for you, I would say.
all right, all right. I'm going to disturb you. Hopefully you don't charge me, but I'm definitely going to hit you up.
Yeah, please. I really like discussing these things. It's something I really enjoy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate. I really love the fact that the way you explained the whole thing, and you actually met the 1 hour mark exactly on the spot. All right. So
Sorry, I
I
didn't
said
understand.
you met the 1 hour, like your session was exactly
Yeah,
almost
okay,
1 hour.
okay.
Remember, we're talking about you extending it. You can go as long as you want, and then. But,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
I didn't know how long it will take. Honestly, I was still fiddling with the presentation today, so I was adding, rethinking. Yeah. I hope that it contains the information that somebody needs when they want to make a visual for the manual and they don't know where to start, right? So really the basics of how you highlight items. Sadly, I'm really a bit disappointed that this fast method is not working in the newer versions. But I understand. I think in 2024 they need to make this big shift for a better SolidWorks performance. And this
Yeah.
might be one of the reasons why this very nice side effect vanished, right? So we are back to adding appearances, but I am working on testing, because they remove some options, but they add maybe some other new options that we can also leverage, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to investigate in more detail. I have the 2026 version now installed, so it's the latest. um yeah,
Or,
we will see, we will see.
we can start protesting now for them to bring it back to 2027.
Yeah. We can try, we can try.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I mean, I've seen the pages where you R&D pages where you can actually drop suggestions. I mean, if we actually state our case very well and express how important it is, I
Yeah.
guess they will be back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, when you're doing the manuals, you don't have, maybe now you don't have the feeling how faster you create the visuals with that. It's insanely, because if you need to add the appearances on the component level, and you want to keep the white top appearance, you need to basically apply appearance on
For
each
faith. Yeah, on
level,
each. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
each
Yeah. Yeah.
level, and
Yeah.
so that you get the lowest appearance up to the top. Right? And
Yeah.
it's yeah, I'm working on it. I will see what I will figure out. I'm
Yeah.
really interested.
I mean, for modeling, I would assume, or if someone removes, like say, this when you hold your control button, you can automatically select multiple components. I'm now assuming if somebody removes that, that's going to reduce the work time, the amount of time. It's going to increase the amount of time it takes to actually do certain functions. So I kind of understand what it means actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm understanding that.
Yeah, SolidWorks has a lot of great things, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, somebody's
Really.
asking if we can expect a short course mentioned on your landing page. Is there a short course on it?
Yeah, there will be a short course. It will be like this one, similar, but it would be showing on an example, right? So today we went through the 10 steps, but then the course will actually take you through the whole process, but actually making a simple visual, right? So it should be within, I hope, within this month, or at least beginning of May.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
slides, can we get it?
Sorry.
This slide for this presentation, can we get it? Can you see?
Just DM me on LinkedIn and I send it to anyone that connects with me and sends me a DM.
All right, no problem. All right,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Thank
Yes.
you, thank you. I really appreciate. And also, the session is being recorded, and I will upload it on YouTube as soon as I'm able to.
Perfect.
Say it. So, James, from Rwanda, thank you for joining. Yes, I'm trying to look for the YouTube channel. You can just go to YouTube and search Benin SWUG. I don't think it's only one there. So Benin SWUG, you definitely get us there. So I was kind of looking for the YouTube uh, link. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to send it to you right now. So
Okay.
that's where we upload the sessions for each speaker. So you can actually just browse through.
Perfect. That's very
Barbara,
nice.
Barbara, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, your session was really amazing. I actually learned something. That's I mean, most of the time I'm just stuck doing answering questions and I'm not paying attention to what is actually being said in the session. So I end up losing from the whole session. I'd have to go back and watch the recordings and all that. But it's nice I
Yeah,
get the
thank you.
experience and all that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Happy to be able to share this with you. And as I said, send me a DM or email. Reach out to me. You will get the presentation and all your answers, all your questions answered, if you have any. So don't hesitate. I don't bite.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
You too. Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Everybody, this is the end of today's session. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you guys for showing up. Let's do this. We'll be having I don't know. We'll be having another event very soon, but it's going to be focused on what we need as a user group at the moment, right? So the Akruti competition, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, came up, and people are actually eager to participate, and mostly, especially here in Africa, due to the fact that it was won last year by a group of African girls. So people are kind of inspired and eager about the whole competition. So I'm thinking that's what we'll be working towards, to actually encourage people on how to go through the whole process. So thank you guys for joining, and I honestly hope to see you guys in our next session. Thank you guys, and good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.